So earlier this week, I authored this absolutely disgusting PR, which was nearly 100,000 lines. And the initial refactor actually only took a couple of hours, but then I had to spend a couple of days tidying up all the little bits, which the agent, funnily enough, forgot about. And that was very frustrating. However, less than 24 hours after I finished that, I merged another PR, which was also extensive. And this time I did absolutely no steering whatsoever, and it got it right the first time. And so what changed between the first and the second attempt was creating a skill for code. And rather than create a plan, I went through the code base and I pulled out the good and the bad code conventions that we were using and kind of created this single source of truth for all the architectural decision records we made in the code base. Then what I did is I created TypeScript validators, which allow us to programmatically check whether things are being adhered to within our decisions, and used post hooks within Claude Code to check every file after there's an edit to see whether it fails. And if it failed, then it would return useful information for the agent in order to get them to fix it. So here you can see that we're giving them the decision and the reasoning as well. And the individual rule which fails also tells it how to fix it. So the reason this works so incredibly well is because of what Anthropic were talking about with the agent loop. When it comes to the reflect step, then they actually have a validation tool which tells them definitively whether they have completed the task and should move on, or whether they should be going back, and if so, what exactly they need to do differently. Now, you notice that we also include the reasoning within here, which is really important, because if you've read Claude's constitution document, they say that they believe a mix of good judgment and well-understood rules tend to generalize better than rules or decide procedures. So really what they're saying is that if you give AI enough context, it will make much more coherent reasoning decisions. So onto what I built for the hackathon. I wanted to take this skill and I wanted to make it a lot more usable. So here it is in data format rather than markdown. So now we have a database in Convex and it has all of our decisions handy. We have our examples here as well, our rubrics for the agents, and we have the rules which our validators are executing. I also went from having TypeScript to building a DSL for our validation, which is executed within a desktop app. Which brings me to the next thing, which I built over the weekend. So on the menu bar up here, you will see we are running Nucleus. This is just a little local runner, which allows us to auth in with Nucleus, and it allows us to run terminals remotely so that we can run these from the cloud. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to create a new session, test session 1. And I'm going to create another one as well straight afterwards so we can do a before and after for our agent linting engine. So what happens when we load this on our local runner? We have obviously a new version of the skill, which is now using our CLI. And the first thing it does is it runs. And what happens there when it runs is it checks that it has all the hooks and auth in place. And it also comes back with all of the decisions and reasons so that the agent is primed to make good decisions in the code base. Now, what that means is that if I find it, if I go to our, which is trying to get it to do something which it shouldn't because it will fail validation, then what you'll see with the primed agent is that it's going to refuse almost straight away. And it's going to say, no, that you shouldn't be doing that. So much for sycophantic AI. Eh? Now, if I clear this so that we no longer have our skill in the context window, and I send exactly the same request, what you'll see will take a little while, but hey, here we go. I can't read the file, I can't do that. So literally the agent has refused our request because it understands the rules and it knows that what we're doing isn't in line with it. What you'll see on the right-hand side is that we're wasting a lot more tokens now researching, thinking about something that we shouldn't be doing in the first place. Not only that, but when it does get there, it will probably kind of come up with a hacky workaround and potentially break our rules anyway if it hasn't realized that I probably shouldn't do that. Now, as before, what happens if they do break the rules, and we're waiting to see if they do or not, is that they have the AgentLint to kick in, And if they break this rule over here, what it will see is, what it will see is the decision, the reasoning, the rubrics, so it knows what to do better, the exact fix for what it is that they need to correct, and a summary of the related decisions as well, so that they make better decisions moving forward. So this is how I went from a 3-day refactor to 6.5 hours unattended and turned it into a product which is going live this afternoon.